Hey there, everyone. How's everyone doing here? I'm Eddie O'Donnell here at Snow Joe, and today we're going to be talking about Dethatchers. So, welcome into our little Dethatcher 101 live stream right here. Welcome to sort of what I would like to call like the tool school as we've got right here. We're going to talk about the importance of dethatching your lawn. So, I know some folks are watching out there on TikTok. I know some folks are watching out there on YouTube. So, we appreciate you folks watching out there. Do us a favor if you're watching and you have any questions, you can feel free to drop a comment down there. And don't forget, if you're enjoying this, to tap that like. If you're watching on YouTube, we want to see those thumbs up. And if you're watching on TikTok, keep tapping in, sending those likes. We do appreciate that as well. And definitely be sure to follow us here at Snow Joe Co on TikTok, or hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube to the Go with Joe channel, and vice versa. If you're on YouTube, go to go to TikTok, and if you're on TikTok, go to YouTube and give us all the follows and the likes and subscribes and all the social medias. We appreciate all of that there. We do. So definitely hit all of that in there. Let's dive into talking a little bit about dethatchers here. So, I think this is the kind of question a lot of folks out there have in general when it comes to their yard. When it comes to your lawn, what is a dethatcher? What does a dethatcher do in general? And why are we looking to take care of our lawns in that kind of way? And what does it do for our lawn specifically? And why is this the kind of tool that we really need in the yard here? Now, this is going to be sort of a pretty basic ground up understanding there, literally, of the idea of what a Thatcher helps us do, what it does for your lawn, and how it does it. And what's great about being able to talk about this, folks, is that I think a lot of folks out there, when they're taking care of their lawns, they're not maybe thinking about getting out there with their Dethatcher. They're not really thinking about adding the Dethatcher into their sort of general regimen here. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we get the Dethatcher into that regimen and what we can do with that Dethatcher in general when it comes to tackling the different problems that we may have in our yard and garden there. So really great setup that we have right here. Excited to talk about these tools that we've got here in front of us. If you're enjoying anything that you're seeing here, be sure to like the stream. Be sure to follow us here at the Go with Joe channel on YouTube or the Snow Joe Co channel on TikTok there. Join us for more of this fun content that we like to do here every single day. Now let's dive into the lineup that we have right here. The first things that we're going to mention here a little bit are the dethatchers themselves, and of course, talking a little bit about grass here itself here. So, you know, just like a grass pad here, grass is an interweave connection of root systems under the soil there that all tie together into sort of, generally speaking, sort of this sort of larger organism design here. And when you're looking at that kind of organism, what you really want to see here is something that's important when it comes to the growth in your lawn. A lot of folks out there, as the summer comes in, as the spring comes in, you want to take care of that lawn, but you have these sort of problems that get in the way. And thatch is a big one. And I think thatch is one of those ones that people are kind of a little bit baffled by. Now, normally when it comes to thatch, when people have seen thatch in the past and when people see thatch in general, what does it look like? Why don't we actually let's pop open one of the videos of our one of our dethatchers here in action, and it'll sort of show you an example of what that thatch looks like there. So there we go. We see our AJ801E, which is the same dethatcher that we have right here. And you can see in this video right here, grabbing out a little bit of pack of dirt right there, and in there you can see that sort of blonde material there, that grayish material there. Now, what that is the thatch that is preventing your lawn from getting all the nutrition that it needs here. So if we imagine that thatch, and we've got some facsimile right here, and let's take a look back here in the studio, and I'm going to pull away a couple of things here so we can show off what I'm really talking about here. I've got a little bit of this straw right here, and I'm going to show you essentially what this does here to your grass. So let's just take a look. Let's take a look right down here on the patch of grass that we have in front of us. And what I'll do here is I'll sort of build out I'll build out I'll build out of a little bit of a thatch look right here. So if you take a look in your grass, usually this happens post the winter time as roots compress into the surface of your lawn here. So you'll find a lot of this blonde material. And of course, this is not the perfect facsimile right here, but a lot of what happens here is in that same sort of interweaved connection underneath the grass layer that you have right there, a lot of those roots die. And you tend to get these sort of blonde patches, kind of like you see right here, on your lawn. And what ends up happening is that this sort of blonde patch right here is a mass of dead roots. Now, this is a relatively low turf right here. It's only about 1.25 inches high right here, so very low in terms of the nap that we have right here. But when it comes to your lawn, you'll see this even in grass as tall as 3 inches thick here. Now, when it comes to this material, what this actually does is it prevents the water from actually getting past it and feeding into the roots of your lawn. It kind of deflects water, lets it stay above. It soaks some water in because it's very dry. And what ends up happening is it stops the water from really feeding your lawn itself. So what you have to do is you have to rip this material out. Now, this, what you can see right here is just sort of that early layer of thatch. And, as you saw in the video there, thatch goes deep into the soil. It'll go all the way down into that soil there. And it'll take up about, the first 3/4 of an inch of soil in there and cover that up. And that's really going to be a hard place that's going to really be a hard place for, your lawn to be able to get water from. And that's going to cover your whole lawn. It's not just going to be one patch like we sort of have it right here. That's really going to cover the whole lawn in many cases. There are lots of the lawn in general here. It's really going to cover a lot of different space that you might have in that lawn there. And so you want to get that out of there so you can let the water feed down in there. And a dethatcher is going to do that for you. Essentially, what the dethatcher has here, and we've got our AJ801 here, which is one of our classic 13-inch dethatchers right here. Right over here, I've got our AJ805. This is our 15-inch dethatcher right over here. And you can see these are nice and lightweight, easy units to maneuver around right here. So our other dethatcher right here. We even have a cordless dethatcher. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But let me put this down here. We're going to start off talking about what the dethatchers do, though, and the dethatchers come with two different cylinders in them. When I say cylinders, it means the piece inside here. As you can see here, if I lean this back here, you can see this is the piece that spins. This spins around in a circle there. So this has a raking cylinder in it, and this is the scarifying cylinder. Now, the scarifying cylinder, what this does is it rips out thatch. As you can see right here, this is a setup of blades here, and you can see those blades. We can get a nice close-up look on them. Yeah, look at those set of blades right there. These spin around, and as they spin, they pull up the thatch from the ground. So, for example, if we aim this down here at the table, you can kind of see here, you put this over the edge here. As you're going around through the lawn here with this is going to come around and scrape up and pick up that material as it pulls up there. And as it picks up that material, it will clear out this sort of dense mess here. Now, usually this stuff, because it's coming from the grassroots there, the death of the previous roots there that are sort of getting compacted down in there, you'll end up with a thick weave of material that you'll pick up with these blades as they spin around and eat through that area. So they'll actually sort of tear that material out as it picks up, as it spins through. And like I said, it'll go deep into the surface here of your lawn. So it's about all the way about 10 millimeters deep there. So you'll see here that generally speaking, it's not just going to attack the surface of your lawn. It's actually going to go a little bit deeper there and actually rip that thatch out from underneath there. And that's what these blades are for. Now, as this rips thatch out, it's going to pull that material with it, and it's going to pull out all that material with it. And it's going to leave these sort of blade troughs here. So you can see these blades right here. They are relatively thick. And the thickness of these blades as well are going to leave sort of these thin troughs, these lines in your lawn. As you're leaving those lines in your lawn, what you're going to be able to do is use those areas to reseed. So you're going to be able to refeed new grass roots or grow new grass to fill in sort of dead patches, smaller patches and stuff like that with new growth there. So one of the most important things about about a dethatcher here is that it helps get water down to your lawn, helps aerate your lawn in general. And that, of course, aeration right there, giving it that air, giving it that looseness is also going to give you that connection to the water and also going to give you that perfect spacing for new seeds. So if you're looking to reseed, this is actually a great tool to help with that. So definitely a cool setup that we have right here. And folks, if you're enjoying this, if you're having a good time here, don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe as well. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, be sure to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Sorry, if you're watching the TikTok channel there on Snow Joe Co, make sure you're following us here on TikTok, and don't forget to tap in those likes. We appreciate those likes from everyone out there. Thumbs up on YouTube and tap in those likes on the screen there on TikTok as well. So when it comes to the Thatcher, this is sort of the main king blade right here. This is going to do all that heavy lifting for you. And right here on our actual unit that we have right here, we have the other blade, which is or the other cylinder, as I should say, which is the circular cylinder you see right here. underneath, this is called the raking cylinder. So what we have underneath here, and we can take a close-up look at the underneath of this. These are actually steel tines that we have in here, spring steel tines. So you can see these little tines there. These are sprung steel, so they're not going to break. This is going to spin around like this, and any material that you have on the surface of your lawn, so anything like this sort of hay that we've got here is our thatch facsimile here. Anything that's spread around there, this is actually going to pick that up and kick that into the back of the thatcher. And then back right here, we have a collection bag. But what's great about this is that those spring tines there, as they pick up that material, they're going to prevent those sort of moments of deep thatch when that root system really gets infested with the material that this is made out of here. So really nice to have that capability in general to pick up that material, to pick up all of that stuff from the ground and take it out of there so you can get that good feed into your lawn there. That's one of the most important things that you can do for your lawn. Now, here's a big question I think a lot of folks out there have. When do you want to be dethatching? Well, the first time that you want to dethatch is right after the winter. You want to get out there, right before things are getting nice and warm for the growth of your grass, particularly when you're reseeding, particularly when you're getting into that mode there and things are going to get warmer, things are getting ready for that new growth when it's really spring and when you really want to get that growth in. Get the dethatcher out and tear up any of the thatch that's pocketed itself in there, packed up itself in there over the course of the winter there. Reseed if needed for a lot of patches there. And then, of course, you're going to be able to use the raking cylinder afterwards to pick up the thatch that gets left on the surface of the grass. That's what I like to do. In fact, actually, I'll explain that process right here. So as these blades pick up that thatch, what I like to do is on the back of our dethatcher here, and this is one of the cool things about our dethatchers in general, is that we've got that collection bag that we can actually take off here. So I like to take off the 10-gallon collection bag here, put that onto the side there, and let that thatch lay on the ground here. And essentially what that's allowing me to do is leave that on the surface of what we've got of our lawn there, and then I can come back over it and hit it with that raking cylinder like we have in here, and throw the collection bag back on, and that'll help me pack up all that thatch that we have there, because that thatch is actually usable material. We can use that in our mulchers and stuff like that. I know a lot of folks who actually like to go back over with a lawnmower so that they can mulch it back into their yard automatically like that. That's a great way to do it, if you're doing it sort of mid-season or anything like that. But anytime you see this sort of brown, sort of, lifeless looking lawn here, and I don't want to say lifeless in just such a sense, but if you see any of this material that looks kind of like hay in your lawn, it looks like it's sort of built up as part of your lawn. You'll see it as like a weave of material there. You want to rip that out. So you have that multifaceted attack there. If you see it up on top, you're going to want to use that raking cylinder. If you see it in the depths of your lawn there, you definitely want to get in there with your scarifying blades. That's why you want to use the scarifying blades at the top of the season. And then after doing that, you're going to see how that grass reacts. You're going to see how it grows back there. And again, you're going to check for more thatch as it comes in. Great to do it towards the end of the season as well, right before it becomes the winter too. You want to clear as much material out of the way there so that it gets as much water so we can get ready for that winter time. This is a great pre-winter prep thing to have right here with your dethatcher. So those are a couple of great tips there to do it right after the winter, right before the winter kind of deal, to prep before the winter so that as much water can enter that lawn, get those grass roots as strong as possible before the winter comes. And then after it survives the winter there, come back over and make sure that whatever has been compacted down there, you can rip out, and then you can use that to aerate and reseed. So nice to have that setup here to really get all that done here. Now, why don't we take a look here, because this comes with two cylinders. We're talking about that. Let's take a look at that video that we've got of swapping the cylinders out here, and it is very simple. And this goes for all of our dethatcher units here, but we're going to just demonstrate that here on the AJ801E that we have right here. So if we pick this up and put this on its side, you can see underneath right here, we've got our raking cylinder in place there, but we've also got that ability to use the scarifying blades there. And we talked about being able to use both these blades, but how easy is it to actually swap between the two? Well, it's actually pretty simple. There's a couple of bolts right here that we have to swap out, and it's as easy as that to get that kind of work done. So let's take a quick look at the video footage that we have of it right there. So you can see right there, we've got our little changing the cylinder video. Oh, down over on this side. So that's when we have the scarifying blades in here, and it's very easy to swap these cylinders out. It's just those two screws, so you just have to grab a wrench, whether it's an adjustable wrench that you have right there, or for example, you can grab a socket set if you want, undo those screws, and then that cap comes off. Now you can see that that pin slides out of there, and there's a corresponding pin on the inside of your scarf of your raking cylinder there, and that slides in first, and then you're going to drop that other side cap down into the slot there and tighten up those screws. So pretty simple, pretty easy to get things tightened up and ready to go with the Scarifying cylinder on your on your Dethatcher right there, and you're off to cleaning out all that thatch in the lawn there. There we go. Once again, you can see that thatch, and that is sort of the difference that you're going to get between your lawn there, is that you want to use that Scarifying cylinder to rip up that thatch so you can get that greener looking lawn, so that the color can come back into your lawn, so that the water can refeed some of that lushness back into your lawn in general there. So really like that easy capability to swap those blades out, to swap those cylinders out from one to the other. So that's one thing that I love in general about this design right here, being able to easily swap things out here, being able to easily get things done. Now, what I love about this as well is that these are electric tools here. So when it comes to dethatching, we're getting rid of a couple of things. One, we're not dealing with a gas tool that's heavy and obnoxious and hard to use, but also, traditionally the way to deal with thatch, again, is using a rake. And that's kind of what these blades are similar to, is actually physically using a rake. And, using a rake is tiring, it's painful, it's a hard way to get that material out of the way here. And that's why the Thatcher here works so well. That's why this is such a great solution for removing that thatch in general, is using this instead of a rake to get all of that cleared up there. So really great design overall. Now, our dethatchers in general have 5 height positions. They can go all the way up to about 0.4 inches above the level of the grass, and then all the way down to 0.4 inches below the level of the grass. And we've got that in 0.2 inch increments there. Now, one of the most important things is you get a parallel pickup on the grass there. That's really great to get things right on the surface right here. Now, anything above the surface and anything parallel to the surface, you're going to use those raking tines that you have in the cylinder that I've got in the Dethatcher right now. That's going to pick up any material on the level of the grass. But then you want to go below. You're going to use that Scarifying blade setup to rip out that thatch, rip out that deep material there that's blocking that growth there, blocking that water inlet there, blocking the capability for things to feed in there. And this is a great system in general. This is an easy way to tackle the thatch right here that you have with something like the AJ801E, or and we've got, like I said, we've got a couple of different models here that we could talk about to tackle the thatch with here. So we've got the AJ801E right here. This is a 12 amp 13-inch Scarifying Dethatcher to tackle that job with. We've got our AJ805E right over here, which is the sort of, I don't want to say it's the upgraded model, but it's the next size up, 15 inches wide with a 13 amp electric motor right here. So more power for a larger blade as well, or a larger cylinder as well. So this is going to cover more ground. So it's going to do larger areas faster right there. It's got a couple of other build differences to it, a slightly different height adjustment method, but both of the height adjustment systems here are on the right. All you have to do in this case is lift this handle out to the side, and you can adjust this up and down there by pushing this down or picking it back up. So relatively easy with both of the handles on this here. So you can see there, all we have to do is move this out to the side here, adjust that down to lower this, adjust that back up to heighten that up there. And remember, that's in 0.5 that's in 0.2 inch increments right there, all the way down to 0.4 under and 0.4 above. Let's take a look here with our other Scarifying detector, the AJ801E. The adjustment here is up front. So all you have to do is hit this knob, push that in, and then we can adjust that up or down there. So you can see that nice adjustment there. And it does have locking positions for those different placements there, depending on where we want to adjust that to. So nice to have that there. And again, we're going to use that in correspondence with the different cylinders that we're going to need there. Now, when you're doing the scarifying with the blades, when you've got those big blades set up in there, and they both come with the same setup, they both come with the detachable cylinders there. They both come with the swappable cylinders in that sense. So you have a Dethatcher blade, the Scarifyer blade, sorry, as well as the raking tines with both of these units here. And what's great about that is that you can use those scarifying cylinders, those big bladed cylinders, to go all the way up to 0.2 inches deep first, and really take out a lot of thatch there, and then go deeper on the second pass to deepen some grooves and to really give you a little extra water penetration down in the ground there. And that way you're going to get a little more done there. It makes it a little easier there, because once you've lifted up that thatch with that first sort of pass there, you go really deep there and get a little more water penetration there for the extra growth that you want in the yard and garden there. So I love that capability that you have with that as well. Now we have one other unit here that we want to show off here, and you can sort of see, we've got sort of like the main Dethatcher right here. This one's definitely sort of considered the old king here. This is the one that I think a lot of folks out there will recognize. I believe it's the #1 best-selling walk behind lawn tool on Amazon right now. I believe it might. It certainly was for a little while. This is its brother right here. So these both are awesome tools right here. We're going to bring these. I'm going to bring these down. I'm going to show you sort of the next generation that we're sort of thinking into Thatchers right here, because both of these are amazing, but they're both corded units right here. So we love getting rid of the gas here, and going corded is a great way to do it. But the next thing that we have for this in terms of dethatching in general is of course a battery powered dethatcher. Now we're here all about our 24-volt lineup here. So what we have in the lineup here is a 48-volt dethatcher. So just like with our lawnmowers here, we've upgraded that capability to tackle the yard and garden tasks here with a 48-volt tool. So this takes two of our 24-volt batteries and gives us that 48-volt advantage with this amazing cordless dethatcher right here. So up front here, we've got the port for two 24-volt batteries. You slide them in there and you are good to go. You have your height adjustment for your dethatcher right over here on the side. So all you have to do is grab this knob, and you have that ability to adjust things up or down here. So with this top knob over here, we can take a little bit closer look right here. We can do that height adjustment here by clicking in this button here and actually adjusting this up. You can see that little adjustment button there or down there, and we can lock that into different places there. So if we want to lock it as high as possible there, we can lock that in just like that. And you can see there's that little locking button there, or you can bring this all the way down. So you can see very easy to adjust that height with this here. We do have that nice large collection bag on the back as well here. And in this one here, I do have the Scarifying Blades set up in there. So you can see those nice big blades once again in there, giving us that capability to rip out that thatch. You can kind of see them in there. They're dark and brooding as under Scarifying Blades here. We're gonna take a quick look in there. There you go. You can see those big blades in this one right here, really giving you an intense amount of cutting into the ground here. Now these ones have a bit of an angle to them, and they're going to cut a bit of more of an aggressive groove there that packs the punch with that 48-volt sort of design right here, with those two batteries giving you that 48-volt power in general here. So nice to sort of have that capability. This is a really this is a really great, powerful way to get a lot of thatch going here. And this is a lot of way to rip. This is a great way to rip all that out there. Now, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to pop us a question in the chat, in the comment section there. And of course, also, don't forget, if you're enjoying any of this right here, feel free to hit those like buttons. Be sure to be liking the show. Feel free to be liking the video here, and don't forget to hit that follow button. If you're watching on TikTok there, be sure to be following our channel. If you're watching on YouTube there, don't forget to definitely give us that thumbs up, but also subscribe to the Go With Joe channel here on YouTube. So definitely appreciate that from everyone there. If everyone hits that like or hits that follow, we definitely do appreciate that in general there. So definitely hit those likes. And if you want to learn more about your lawn and garden in general, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the chat there. Let us know in the comment section what you are thinking. What do you want to know about? What are the topics that you want to hear about in general when it comes to tackling anything in the yard and garden? Alrighty, now here's what I think would be kind of fun. I would like to show off a little bit of what the raking cylinder does in general here. So because we have the other dethatchers here set up for the raking cylinder, what I'm going to do is I've got a little more of that hay, and we're going to make a little bit of a facsimile. We're going to make a little bit of facsimile thatch there. We're going to pour that down onto our little grass mat here, and we're going to dethatch that up. So let me grab a surface here that we can do this all on, and we'll see if we can clean everything up there, because we did talk about all of our dethatchers here. By the way, folks, this is the DTS. This is the 24V-DTS15, 24V-X2-DTS15. Both those 24-volt batteries pack up front here. If you want to take a look at any of the dethatchers that we've been talking about today, you can check them out at snowjoe.com. Link in the description there. You can join. You can hop over there and take a look at all the different tools we're talking about there. You can also join us on Amazon as well. We do have an amazingly fun stream on Amazon Live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And that live stream is always going to be talking about the tools, talking about the best fun that you can have with the tools when it comes to tackling everything in the yard and garden there. And of course, because it's on Amazon, we have some links in there for us to buy all those tools as well. So that's a great way to catch us there. So let's see if we can set this up here. Get that nice strip of grass laid out over here, and we'll show off what this dethatcher can do in a little bit here. We grab some more of our studio hay that we have over here. Got a nice bundle of hay back here just for these kinds of demonstrations here in general. We get hay everywhere, which is usually the case with all of our demonstrations in general here. So I'm sprinkling some hay down over here. People couldn't see behind the video there. There we go. Sprinkling a little bit of hay there for us to clean up here with our Dethatcher. All right, so I think we're going to use the AJ805E right here, or the AJ801E, sorry, right here. We're not covering a ton of ground here. Let's prop that up right up on top here and get a cord here. And we can we're going to plug our Dethatcher in here. Squeezed in a little bit tight. Obviously, when you're working with this, you're not going to be working with your Dethatcher sort of halfway in the air there. But here in the studio, we're trying to make things easier for people to see in general. Now, here's a cool tidbit on all of our corded tools in general. As I dragged the little extra cord out here for myself. When it comes to all the corded tools that we have in general here, on the back of all the corded tools, there's always a way to make sure that you can keep your cord plugged in. So there's a little hook right up here that we can actually plug our electrical cord into. This allows us to hook in here. So we just slide that in, and we're going to lock this cord in place using this little hook system here. This is just a great way to make sure that we never come unplugged mid sort of session there. But also on top of that, it's going to protect our cord there so we don't end up running over it at any point. So we'll plug all this in here. Let's get that adjustment set here. We're going to go nice and high here, I think, or actually, no, we should be able to go right there with parallel to the surface here. So you can see we have all this hay set up here. Now, this is not going to pick up the fine hay. Again, this is going to really be designed to pick up sort of more of the woven material that ends up on the grass here. But let's take a look at what this looks like here. All I have to do is hit the safety switch on the side here. Oh, you know what? Before we power this up here, we want to make sure that everyone wears their personal protective equipment. We want to be good examples for everyone out there. That's going to be eye protection, ear protection. You want to make sure you're wearing some gloves as well, perhaps, while you're doing this. And when you get out there into the yard and garden, that way you're all protected up for doing the task here. So let's get some gloves on here while we tackle some of this facsimile thatch. And, this is another great thing. This is something that shows off what you can use that raking cylinder for, which is cleaning up the yard in general. So we'll power this up. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, there we go. All right. So you can see right there, this is like a bit of a lawn, like a lawn vacuuming that we just did right there with the Dethatcher. It really cleaned up all of that hay that we had on there. And you can imagine that as sort of your facsimile thatch there in general. Now, when you pick up the collection bag, we can see in here that in the collection bag, it shot all of that hay that we had in there into the back of that bag. There we go. You can see that all there. And that's going to be that's going to be sort of, the description of what that dethatching capability is from a tool like this. Now, this is pretty easy to do, as you can tell. This is a pretty easy setup. We didn't have to manually rake anything up. We didn't have to actually, put any back raking work into anything. We could easily get out there. We could easily clean things up. You can see how much of that it really picked up there. And, it works nice and, it gets into those nice tight areas pretty easily for this, reaching down all the way to sort of the base level of the grass in general there. And that's the reason that I like that raking cylinder going all the way down to that 0 level there. So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about, trying to make sure that you can get deep enough. The raking cylinder will go right to the level of the grass there. You saw it almost pull that grass pad back a little bit on me there, but no big deal there because we were still able to get a lot of stuff cleaned up. And that's the thing that I like about this. This is a really versatile part of the tool here, being able to rake everything up in the yard and garden in general. So it really gets the power going when it comes to a tool like this to get out there to easily clean things up. And this is a really cool setup and a really important setup for your yard. So, not just stopping your yard from being dirty, but of course, the importance of getting your yard cleaned up of that thatch, removing that thatch from the root systems of the grass there, and having these tools on hand to help with that. So whether it was the AJ801E that we used over there, whether it's the AJ805E like we have over here, or the 24V-X2-DTS15, our 15-inch cordless dethatcher, all three of these are going to help us get out there and easily rip that thatch out of the ground to give us that great growth for that lawn, to give us that capability to feed that water properly down in there and to stop that material that collects on top from stopping our lawns from really getting that beautiful growth. And we mowed a lawn recently that we saw had a lot of thatch on it. We do want to say that this is one of those things that's an easy way to fix it. It's by having one of these tools right here. And when it comes to using the raking cylinder versus the scarifying cylinder, you saw what I like right there. Go ahead and dethatch first. Let that thatch sit on the top of the lawn there, then go back over the raking cylinder and you can see how much of it you can easily clean up there and really get that lawn looking nice and tidy there, and how fast and easy that works in general there. So a really great setup they have here with this amazing tool in general. The really great design they have right here with with our Scarifier and Dethatchers right here, and a great setup that you have in general with the options that you have right here. Whether you want to go corded like this with a 13 amp motor with a 15-inch pulling capability here, or a 12 amp motor and a 13-inch pulling capability with the AJ801E, or with that 15-inch wide cordless 48-volt dethatcher that we have over there, the DTS15. All of these are great options here. If you want to check any of them out, you can head over to snowjoe.com. All of these are available on snowjoe.com. And folks, if you've been enjoying any of the videos that we put out here, live or otherwise, definitely be sure to follow us here. If you're watching on YouTube, follow us at the Go With Joe channel here. We're trying to put out some good, solid educational content for everyone out there so that they can learn how to use some of these amazing tools that we have in our lineup. On TikTok, if you're enjoying watching these lives here, be sure to tap those likes as you're watching there. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe to our TikTok channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow to our TikTok channel, follow our TikTok channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, do all of the social media things here, there, or otherwise. So that way you have all that way, you're following us in all those different places there. We do appreciate that all across the board there in general. And of course, on top of that, check us out in those other spaces. When it comes to Amazon Live, you want to take a look at us talking about these tools, and showing off how these get used, and showing off how you can get some of these tools from Amazon when we have some great deals going on there. Check us out on Amazon Live. If you want to do that, you can head over to Amazon.com. You can take a look at the live stream sections on Amazon.com, and you'll see this shining mug right here talking about some great tools there. Now, we go live there at 11 a.m. Eastern Time every single weekday. That's Monday through Friday. Join us over there for the Joe Show Live. We've got a lot of great fun going on there, talking about these tools here, talking about some great deals we've got going on there. And of course, if there's anything that you ever want to know more about, feel free to drop a comment. Feel free to let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know what's going on. We want to know how we can make more video content for you out there. So give us that. Let us know what's going on here. Let us know what you're thinking out there, and let us know if you enjoyed this content. Because remember, if you enjoyed this content, we want to see those thumbs up. We want to see those likes coming in there. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun talking about the Thatchers right here, giving you that sort of 101 class here on what the Thatchers are, on how we have to use our Dethatchers, and the best way to get things clean. You can check out these amazing Dethatchers right here. You can get rid of doing it by hand. Stop worrying about having to do it with the rake. Get out there with your Dethatcher like we have right here, the AJ801 that we have right in front of us over here, and we can get a nice close-up on that over here. The AJ801 over here that we've got is 13 inches wide, 12 amp electric dethatcher right here. Really great, nice, powerful, lightweight corded dethatcher here. And that's something that I love here. This is easy to, I put this up on top of the table here. Nice and lightweight, easy to use. You saw how easy that was to set up there in general. Amazing electric dethatcher that we have right here. This is sort of the old king of dethatchers here. This is kind of the go-to for a lot of people there. Like I said, for a long time was the #1 bestseller on Amazon. Its brother right up here, the AJ805 AJ805. This is our amazing sort of a size upgrade right here. You go a little bit wider with this at 15 inches with a 13 amp motor, giving us a lot more sort of dethatching capability here. And of course, let's not forget to mention, of course, that cordless dethatcher that we talked about over on this side here, which is the DTS15 that we've got right here. And we'll pick that up. And again, we're going with tools here that are super lightweight, so they're easy to pick up and easy to get that work done with. So that cordless dethatcher that you have right here, 24V-X2-DTS15. We've got the whole Dethatcher family here. As you can see, I'm surrounded by Dethatchers. These are great tools to help keep your yard, help keep your lawn looking absolutely gorgeous here. Definitely take a look at all of these. You can head over, if you want to head over to snowjoe.com. You can check them all out. AJ805, AJ801 up front there, and of course the DTS15 right here. All easy to find, all amazing ways to keep your lawn looking absolutely great. Definitely check all of these out. And if you want to get that lawn looking absolutely gorgeous, this is going to be one of the best ways to do it. All right, folks, I think I've exhausted all of the talk that I have on Dethatchers there. If there's anything else you want to know about Dethatchers, anything on the thing, anything else that you want to hear about, feel free to drop a comment. Let us know in the chat. We always love hearing from you in general. Folks, thanks so much for joining us here on our TikTok/YouTube stream. If you're on YouTube, be sure to like. If you're on TikTok, be sure to give us those likes as well, but also be sure to follow us. If you're on YouTube, go follow us on TikTok at Snow Joe Co. If you're on TikTok, go follow us on YouTube at the Go with Joe channel, and or subscribe to us on YouTube at the Go with Joe channel. And if you're free at 11 a.m. on the weekdays there, that's Eastern time. Be sure to join us for the Joe Show live on Amazon Live, where we get to talk about these great tools on Amazon as well. And don't forget to check them all out at snowjoe.com. All right, folks, I'm Eddie O'Donnell here at Snow Joe, talking about some of the Thatchers, saying a big thank you to everyone out there for joining us here at the show. And hopefully we will see you all next time. All right, thanks, folks.